what exactly is queerness and who gets to decide that? My name is Dr. Anthony Delaney. I'm a historian of gender and sexuality, and this is a conversation that I saw unfolding on social media over the last couple of weeks. And it seemed to say that there is a distinct difference between lesbian, gay and bisexual people and queer people. Now, you could argue that that stands up to scrutiny, particularly because a lot of lesbian, gay and bisexual people wouldn't identify themselves as queer, so therefore they're not queer. But that's not where that conversation stopped. I saw a lot of younger queer people, say in their late teens, early 20s, talking about queerness being something that's instantly identifiable. The way you live your life, where you choose to live, how you choose to present yourself to the world. That's what queerness is inherently, and that's how we should measure queerness. This particular person was giving an example of how their partner's uncle, who is gay, lives with his partner, but they are by no means queer. Now, that definition didn't come from the gay uncles themselves. That came from this particular queer content creator. Didn't see their idea of queerness reflected in the lives that these two gay men were living. And bear in mind, those two gay men might not identify as queer themselves. We don't know. But here's the problem. The absolute least queer thing you can do is try to police queerness. It is the antithesis of queerness to try and regulate it. I've been joined by my dog. Anyway, putting a set of rules and regulations into place that seeks to define and therefore control queerness is the least queer thing imaginable. Now, that is not to say that everybody who's lesbian, gay and bisexual is queer, because as we know, a lot of lesbian, gay and bisexual people don't identify as queer, particularly the more established lesbian, gays and bisexuals amongst us. But you as a queer person don't get to set metrics of queerness that other people have to meet. Take a look at Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick's gloriously loose definition of queerness. It refuses to be bound by expectations and perceived standards. Look at the writing of Judith Butler. And remember this, some queer people don't have the privilege to express their queerness in the same way that you might express your queerness. That, if they identify as queer, doesn't make them any less queer. So as queer folk, what we're not going to do is try and define queerness. Definition leads to regulation, and there are plenty of people in the world who are trying to do that for us, and we don't need to add to it ourselves. So, at the end of the day, Molly says, if you think you're queer, then you're queer.